this last segment where something new for you guys. Where each one of the panelists get to pretty much say what's on their mind. We get to tell you guys what we want to talk about. It's an open discussion, open forum, open mic. It's something new. We hope you like it. I'm excited for it. So does anybody want to kind of jump out there first and say what's going on, what's on their mind?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off you, T. I'm gonna get my point off before it gets stolen. But when we first opened this open mic discussion, I was having a hard time deciding what I want to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, so I wanted to talk about a lot of things, but I wanted to talk about the Raptors. So I don't know what's actually gonna happen, but basically, I'm just gonna get you down to the main point of the situation. They talking about potentially sitting out the whole game. On account of Jacob Blake death. I don't know if y'all heard about it. That's really the real story. It's not really about the Raptors. It's really about Jacob Blake. Whole situation. My man got gunned down from the back. It's pretty fucked up situation. I couldn't think of any other way to say it than that. But, pretty fucked up situation. Literally, George Hill from the Bucks was talking about something. It is literally why NBA players is out here protesting. They wasn't even trying to say come out. He said, look, I don't even know why the hell we came out here, man. Because, literally we came out here and dudes is still getting gunned down. It's crazy. And the worst part about it was, not only did the dude get gunned down, he getting gunned down in front of his family. What I'm saying? His children were in the car watching him getting gunned down. It's really just, it's crazy, man. It's the type of stuff, man. It's honestly, I didn't want to talk about it in the beginning of the show because I would have started getting upset about it because, it's type of thing you can't just, sit in a situation and just, I try to be. I have a good time with this show, and we have a good time doing what we do. But knowing that's going on, and that's somebody's life, update on the situation medically. Dude is basically looking at being paralyzed, man. Can't do nothing but be black. Be in the wrong place at the wrong time yet again. You know what I'm saying? And the worst part about it is folks out here trying to discredit my man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to say X, Y, and Z about him or whatever his track record may be or whatever. And that's the salt in the wound, the alcohol on top of an open cut. It's just come on, man. You're going to hit me with that. So I respect what the Raptors was talking about, potentially sitting out the game. I don't know if they will or they won't. If they do, then, I'll be on the Bryce bandwagon. I hope they win the whole chip, bro. Because, honestly, that's really a statement that could be really something I could stand behind more than anything. We talk about, we come here every day and we talk about sports. But, with that going on right now, even to send Bryce said weeks ago, he was maybe we're part of the problem. We over here talking about sports and stuff. We need to be talking about these social justice issues. So if a team was to sit out here and say, look, folks talking about sports, we got to take control of the narrative and not play. I think that would be one of the most powerful things that could be even greater than anything that could happen from this season if we could get that done. So I just want to say, with everything going on, man, let's not lose sight of the focus of what we got going on and what's really, really, really happening. And if the team was to take forward and take that kind of step, I would applaud them. So if any Toronto Raptors are listening tonight, the Celtics clearly said where they stand. They're not really trying to get down with that. But if the Raptors want to get down and take an L, I'm with you. And y'all got my support.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and jump in next because when I was asking about the open mic segment earlier, this is actually exactly what I came up with for mine. Nick, you kind of hit it on the head. We're sports for the culture. So while we all also talk about sports, we talk about the culture. So we don't ever shy away from any type of issues, whether it be race, police brutality. We've always talked about that here on this show, and we're always going to talk about that here on the show. That's why we're sports for the culture. That's the name of the show. I did not actually hear about the Toronto part of it. The part that I had seen was that the Lions canceled their practice today, which similar to Toronto I thought was an excellent gesture. Obviously, it doesn't hold the same weight as canceling the game, but they don't have games yet. But I believe the players that spoke to the media were Trey Flowers, Taylor Decay, and a man named Harmon. But just to get to the Jacob Blake subject, because it does hit home, especially for me, for all of us, I'm sure. But the fact that he was gunned down in front of his family, it really hit me, man. I don't want to get too emotional on the show or nothing like that, but it really hit me different because, y'all know I have two young boys myself. And I often think about this, man. If I ever get stopped or if I'm ever in a confrontation with an officer, are they gonna end my life in front of my children, man? Like that is something that I genuinely think about quite often, to be completely honest. And it's not something that we as black men and black women should have to fear when we're going on an outing with our family. From what I've read, this man was breaking up a fight between two women. The police responded to a domestic violence case, and somehow it ended with him getting shot in the back while entering his car. There is no justification. There is no what his track record was. You want to know what his track record was? I wore this hat for a reason today. This was this man's track record. Okay, he was a dad. He was in there in the car with his kids. He was trying to prevent another fight, and he was gunned down. There's no justification for him being shot. There's none. So if you are one of those people that want to say all lives matter, you need to look yourself hard in the mirror right now and ask yourself why you're asking what this man's track record is when he just got murdered. That does not matter. I don't give a damn what he did 2 years ago, what he did last year, what he did yesterday. He did not deserve to get killed in front of his children. That is something that they're gonna have to live with. He didn't get my apologies. He didn't pass away. He's paralyzed. I'm getting a little carried away with it because it's touching. But yeah, his kids didn't need to see that. His kids didn't need to see that. It was completely unnecessary. And if you feel any type of way other than sympathy and sorrow for this man, then you are the problem. You are the issue, and you are the ones that need to get dealt with. So that's really all I got to say about this. I'm glad we did this open mic segment tonight. It's a good time to do it. I'm gonna let you guys give your thoughts on this.
I mean, I'm glad you guys brought it up. I kind of figured one of us would bring it up, and if no one did, I would for sure. So I'm glad we're on the topic. But I just want to say, it's so repetitive at this point, man, and it sucks. And just like you, Rome, I have two young sons, 6 and 10, and my heart just goes out to all the black boys in the world. Like, it's hard for black boys. It's even harder for black girls, but my heart just goes out to all the children of color that, now we're in the internet age where you have to watch these people just try to take the life, or actually do take the life out of people that that you will grow up to look like, you may grow up to be like. And while we have images of successful black people, for every Obama, you have 7 or 8 guys, 9 or 10 guys, 15 or 20 guys that you can Google that were gunned down unarmed. And I don't know when it's going to stop. I don't know what it will take for it to stop, but just the constant pounding of the images. I'm at the point where I don't even want to see the videos anymore. It's hard enough just to read the stuff. They haven't arrested the people that murdered Breonna Taylor. I mean, this is literally nothing new. And I hope that the NBA, the NFL. I watched Roger Goodell. I'm gonna jump to the NFL real quick. I watched Roger Goodell sit down with Emmanuel Acho. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I think that's his name. And answer some really softball questions. And one thing he said that bothered me was, I wish I listened to Kaepernick earlier. I hate that a guy had to have his life squeezed out on camera. I thought it was so fake, so phony. I hate that somebody had to die. A pandemic had to stop the entire country for literally white people to watch black people die, to say, yeah, maybe you got a point. Yeah, I know you've been singing about it, rapping about it, making movies about it, writing poems about it, writing books about it, but maybe you got a point now. So it just sucks that, as a person of color, this is kind of your existence, and you just have to maneuver through it and around it. And like I said, man, my heart just goes out to the kids at this point, because the imagery, what it does to your self-esteem and your self-worth can't be, a positive thing. So we just got to keep lifting the kids and, raising them in prayer, and just keep boosting them up, because they're the ones taking the brunt of this. I mean, we're grown. We've seen it for a long time, but they're watching it in real time over and over again.
Yeah, that's real, man. And I think you all were hinting at a sense of conditioning, a sort of conditioning that goes on during these moments. I think that these moments, they get politicized for what seems at some moments sometimes the right reason, but in hindsight could have detrimental effects on the larger society. And that's another issue, definitely for another time. But as far as this specific instance goes, another unnecessary shooting. Another moment where, people in authority are looking for a reason to shoot instead of looking for a reason to de-escalate. I mean, it really just comes back to the entire origin of policing, of police. Exactly. It doesn't take much digging to find out those origins. So, I mean, if you can't do the research, I'm not here to do it for you. And I'm also not here to give make anybody's opinion. But, it doesn't take much to see what's going on here. And I think the number one thing, T, that you hinted on is where, it's conditioning. And it's toughest for the younger generation. So we have to lift them up. We have to continue to, just be there for each other and support, because, as Black people in this country, we've been dealt a bad hand would be an understatement. We all know the game. We all know it's the game, and we all know where we're slotted into that game, and now we just have to come up with rules within the game that can help us succeed. 2020 has been, I think, a crazy year by everybody's standards. If we're blessed enough to get 10 more years after that, I think we'll all look back at 2020 and remember it just as something crazy. Unless this is just a standard now. Unless going forward, everything is just crazy from here. Maybe it is. We'll see. But I think one of the craziest things that popped off at the beginning of 2020 was the death of one of my legends, one of my idols, and that was Kobe Bean Bryant. August 23rd was Kobe's birthday. How ironic that 8/24 is Kobe Day, the day after his birthday. On 8/23, man, I added a new photo to my wall of fame, man. The wall of fame was just moments, people, times that I hold dear, man. I had to put Kobe up there, man. So like I said, man, his birthday 8/23, Mama Day 8/24, and we happened to be recording the show on 8/25. So I had to shout out the legend that is Kobe Bean Bryant, man. May you rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Yes, rest in peace to Kobe, man, the real GOAT.
So I'm gonna just jump in with mine, kind of lift the spirits a little bit, man. Just a little bit. And this is something that's kind of been on my mind. I think it'll give the viewers a little background on all of us. So what I really wanted to talk about, I just like all of you guys to kind of share what was your introduction to gas? Like, how did you get to gas? Because we're slowly progressing, and we got a good amount of viewers, and we got a good organic following, and we're growing week by week. So, just twofold question: how did you get introduced to gas? Like, what led you to this point? And basically, what was the moment that you knew, all right, like we got something here? Because I'm gonna tell you, but I kind of want to hear you guys first.
All right, I'll start this one off. I actually got a funny story about it, man. So the way it worked was Bryce, he reached out to me on Twitter, and I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Like, I was doing my own little blogs, just throwing out shit about at the time the Redskins. Not really thinking anybody was gonna read it. I just had, I'm a football fanatic, so I just had thoughts, just getting them out. And then Bryce reached out to me, man, and I'm gonna be honest, bro, I ignored the hell out of it. I thought it was some fake shit. I was like, bro, who is this guy like talking about gas? Like you want me to join the squad? No, I'm like, nah. Thankfully, man, a couple weeks later, a month or so later, he reached out again, and I'm gonna give another shout out.
Hey, look, that was the last time, man. It was either good or never.
Hey, so I gotta give a shout out to my man Scribble, my man Chris Holt, bro. He just recently joined the squad, and if it wasn't for him, when Bryce doubled back, I might not have said yes, bro. Like I let him know, what it was about, and he was like, hell yeah, man, take the chance. Like, what's the worst that could happen? We started the Hell to the Culture podcast, and in all honesty, I knew that gas was serious and that we had something when me and Bryce were just doing the Hell to the Culture. And we started getting mad, like a decent amount of viewers off, the Redskins not even being that great. And I was like, man, if we can get people to listen to this, and then we really like the whole vision that we have, and we really keep pushing forward, I was like, we could definitely do something. And my time I was writing mostly about the Skins. And another moment that I had where I was like, yo, we really are legit is I did a piece on Josh Norman. And it wasn't like necessarily a football piece. It was more about a culture piece. I mean, we all know we laugh and joke with Josh Norman, he gets burnt, all that kind of stuff. But I did a piece on, him giving back to the community. He was very big on giving back to the community here in DC in the DMV area, handing out food to the homeless and blankets to the homeless, stuff like that. Always giving back, giving out tickets to the fans, stuff like that. And he retweeted us. He gave it the thumbs up. So that's when I really felt like, no matter how small or big Gas gets, we have a platform and we have a chance to give these culture stories. Kind of like the segment we just did. We have a chance to speak our side of the story, the sides of the stories that don't always get told in the mainstream media. And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely proud to be down with the squad.
Okay. I heard bits and pieces of that story, but it was kind of cool to hear from your point of view, from your side. You know what I'm saying? Scruff, I want to hear how you came aboard and your path to this thing.
Man, it's a beautiful story, I guess you could say. But man, me and this guy Bryce, man, we've been known for a long time that we was going to link together to create some greatness. We just never knew what it was, man. And we done had plenty of different hustles and ideas and so many different like creations that we done had. You know what I'm saying? But like, well, ultimately one day we was having a conversation and it started like, sometimes you don't even realize the greatness that you say. And then so somebody says, yo, that was actually a great idea. So we were sitting there. I'm never to forget this. I was living in my mother's house at the time, bro. God bless, and I'm in my own home. Like, I paid for my own dollars. Like, God has brought so many things from me since then. But I was living in my mother's home right at the time. I was living in her basement, bro. Like, literally every story you hear about some great companies starting in somebody's basement. I'm in the backyard. I'm on the phone with Bryce. And we just brainstorming ideas and stuff. And I said, yo, man, what we came up with like a good ass sports blog, just some real dope shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what the fuck we gonna name it though? Bryce was like, yo, you just said it, yo. Good ass sports. I'm like, good ass sports. I was like, damn. That joint actually sounds pretty good. I was like, all right, good ass sports. So I was like, all right, yeah, I like that. So we started on our blogging, you know what I'm saying? And then we started doing different podcasts. And then we started trying different things. And then we just kept growing that joint. And then we started meeting some certain folks. And, Rome was one of them folks. Shout out to Rome. You know what I'm saying? We was like, okay, we got people that's rocking with what we're doing. And, we just kept trying to grow it organically. And everybody that seen the vision and kind of seen the pieces of what we had going on, I'm just grateful. But ultimately, man, now we got something that's really major. We got an app in the App Store. We got people involved on so many different levels and layers. And, I'm just truly grateful. And it's amazing. And ultimately, to answer your question, T, is like, when did I know that it was going to be like, amazing? And to be honest, every day I'm amazed. Like, honestly, like, to be honest, like, I'm amazed every single day. Like, when we first started doing this show, I started to see the little pieces of it, right? But along the way, I saw so many different, like, reminders, from the man upstairs, like Josh Norman, other NFL players. It was multiple NFL players that showed love and really just like the love from the people, from the fans. It was overwhelming. So it was just confirmation of what we was doing. And then like, my boy Bryce, man, he had faith in it from the very beginning. And it's to his vision and execution that we took an idea that was discussed in the backyard and turned it into something that's in everybody's back pocket now with gas and, being accessible from the App Store and every stream that's available watching us right now, man. So I'm just grateful.
Okay. I'm struggling to decide if I should go first or Bryce should go first, just in a sense of what makes sense. But I'm curious. So Bryce, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Let me know, what was your path to this thing?
Yeah, well, man,
what was your moment?
I think y'all know me well enough, man, to know that I don't dive too deep in the past, man. I let the mystique of the creation and the origins, I let it remain there. But I will say that, I'm excited for the future, where we're headed, what we've built as a collective. It's never been one person, one idea, it's never been anything like that. It's a collective, and as the collective mind and the collective vision grows, you'll see gas as an entity just get larger and larger. So I'm just appreciative to anybody that's ever clicked a GoodAssSports link, that's ever, seen a GoodAssSports post, that's ever downloaded this. Shout out to anybody that's downloaded the Gas Network app. And I just guarantee you that there's more big things coming to you guys. We always in the work on the back end, on the front end, whether you see it or not. You know what I mean? And all I can say is sports for the culture. That's it.
Okay. Let me just run through mine real quick. So basically, I know Bryce from flag football. He was our quarterback, and looks like he's going to be our quarterback again. He kind of
Bryce play quarterback.
Shuffled around. Bryce has
a whole ass Jason Campbell.
He is Dwayne Haskins of our squad. The guy, but he came to me after practice one day and just kind of said he wanted to holler at me and let me know. Pretty much, he had a plan, he had a vision, and back then there was a website. He threw some names out there, some other pieces and things like that, and it kind of just all made sense. I kind of knew Bryce as somebody that he would joke around, but he was serious about what he was serious about. Some of the other guys, I probably would have been like, yeah, I don't know, but coming from Bryce, just really thinking about all the conversations we had pertaining to sports, especially sports and culture. I thought it just made sense. And then I decided to, all right, let me see. What can I do? Wrote a couple articles, got a lot of feedback from people I didn't even expect to give me feedback. You know what I mean? Like people I haven't spoken to in years. And it seemed like at every turn now, somebody new. Every week I'm meeting somebody. Hey, I know you from that show. Hey, I didn't know you know Bryce. Hey, I didn't know you knew Ramel. That sort of thing. So, but the biggest moment for me was, Scruff, you might remember this. This is when I kind of knew, all right, we cooking with fire here. We're at the PFL event at the Mystics Arena. And we're in press row. We got media passes. We're in press row. I'm looking around, and I'm looking at these guys like that. I mean, this is Washington Post. This is, this is the Gazette. This is XYZ. This is ESPN. Like, this is the who's who, in sports. And we're sitting right there with them. And it didn't feel like we were out of place. You know what I mean? The moment didn't feel too big. Didn't feel like this was something that we couldn't do or we bit off more than we could chew. And then, we're also got access to the fighters. The fighters are walking out and all that. I just knew, like, all right, if this is what it takes to be a member of the media, we can do this and we're gonna kill it. And from my point of view, we've been killing it. We're gonna keep killing it. I think this is episode 19. So really, this thing is in its infancy. And again, this is a network. This isn't just a podcast or a show. So that was kind of my introduction in that moment for me. I really enjoyed just sitting amongst the guys, because I didn't go to school to be a journalist, but at the same time, I didn't feel out of my league. So that was my moment for me.
Word. Shout out to the PFL for them. I know T remembers them lamb chops, man. I know you remember them jokes.
Man. The PFL definitely rolled out the red carpet, man. And like T said, man, this episode 19, another great one in the books, fellas. I mean, I don't think this one could have gone any better, but I feel that way about every episode. So I'll let the people decide. But hey, as always, man, we here. We ain't going nowhere. And let's sign off like we always do. Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.
Culture.